Used to have a big black pony, and we'd have it on the streets on Saturday night riding up and down the summertime. And
Where
one
did you keep your pony?
wherever I could, wherever I could find somewhere to tie it up and pasture it or what have you. But yeah, one Saturday night Ronnie was teasing it, Ronnie Frazee, and it kicked a big dent in the trunk of his new Mustang. He didn't get upset because he was the one teasing it, made it do it. I mean, it was. Some people didn't like giving up their ground. I mean, Blaine France, he just literally died over it. But you know, I mean, we was in about that time in the dirt bikes and stuff there, and it was kind of a blessing for us. We had some place to rip and tear from West Virginia clean to Grantsville, but yeah, it was not as welcome as you would have thought it would be. And I mean, it gave a lot of work to people around here, you know, and good paying jobs and stuff, but it was pretty short-lived. Still wouldn't hurt if they closed it down. A great place to grow up. You know, you can't, we always had something to do. I mean, if it wasn't, you know, peeling posts to make 10 cents and, you know, down at Saenz' mill, or, you know, we was always had something to do. I mean, we picked apples or potatoes or, you know, when we were young just to make a living and have extra money, but there was always something going on. We trying to trap muskrat and coon and things like that, you know, with the Hardings. And you know, Kenneth Harding, he really, you know, took us hunting and stuff. He was good, really good to be raised around. And yeah, and you know, like Jeannie Saenz and Ralph and them, we went hunting with them, and you know, spent a good bit of time coon hunting with Dave Taylor and a few of them guys that always, I think they drug us along just to see us get in trouble. I don't know. If we could do it, we used to aggravate Blaine France, you know. I mean, he had so much ground, it was hard to hunt without getting him mad at you. And, you know, we used to sneak around on some of his ground there and hunt where he had good deer hunting or good squirrel hunting or something like that there. And then every now and then we'd get caught and run off. But I think he enjoyed the challenge as much as we did. He just, you know, he never called the cops on you or nothing like that. He'd just growl at you and run you down over the hill and go, get off there. All you had to do is wait for him to drive out of sight and then sneak back up over the hill again. So I don't know. I think he enjoyed it more than we did. Well, they made this dummy up and hung him down the street there off the power lines, off the telephone wire. And that was back probably in the late 60s, you know, when they did that, 67, 68, somewhere in there. And then they started calling it Dodge City, you know, that after they had the dummy hanging down there for a while. Her dad used to tell me a lot of stuff like that, you know, about, you know, mostly, you know, I didn't take advantage of what I should have, but he, you know, he used to tell me about the people that cut mine posts. And Ode France, if you remember, I don't know if you knew Ode or not, but I remember Ode telling me a lot of stuff, you know, about you know, if it was muddy and stuff like that, they'd cut some scrap logs, you know, and lay them crossways in the road so that the horses could get traction to pull logs out, you know, by stepping on the logs and that. And he told me about, they used to take 2 wagons and 2 teams into town with lumber, I guess, and put on this train. And they needed the one team in the woods as quick as they could get it there. So what they would do would stick the wagon tongue up inside the other wagon and chain it up. And then the one team would take the 2 wagons back to the mill while the other team went to the woods to skid logs. And he said the guy got drunk one day that drove the wagons back to the mill, and he just either passed out or laid in the back of the wagon, and the horses went for the mill, and when they went downhill, the tongue come up and mashed his head and killed him from the back wagon, because there was no solid mount. But he even told me the guy's name, but I can't remember it. But he's telling me how that guy, drank a little bit at town after they loaded the lumber off, and then let the horses take him back to the mill. But his head just got in the wrong spot, and when the tongue ran up against him, it killed him. But Texas Eastern was running their 30-inch line through here at the time in 1968, and 2 guys got into it in the bar. And when they went out to the street, they were actually going to shoot it out, just similar to Old West style. And a side boom operator from South Louisiana tried to part them, stop it, and break them up. And he ended up the one shot and killed. And Joe Abney was the one that shot him from Baltimore. But, he's still, Joe Abney, as far as I know, still pipelining. But, yeah, it was, there was several shots fired. One went through Schnoschnagel's store window. I think it's still down there if you go look where it got broke. But there was several shots fired. And Rit Thomas had the barber shop, and he ran out and he caught the guy, falling down from his wounds, and they got the ambulance and took him to the hospital then. But yeah, it wasn't good, not at all.